India and Pakistan. Beyond just their cricketing rivalry, those words hold some intense significance. India and Pakistan are two countries in Southeast Asia that have perhaps the most violent historical foundings and relations ever. See, before the two countries existed, they were actually just a single country called British India, and as the name suggests, this unified India-Pakistan territory came directly under the jurisdiction of the British Crown. However, the independence movement of India, fueled by some very big names in history, such as Bhagat Singh, Madan Lal Tingra, Swatantra Veer Savarkar, Subhash Chandra Bose, and of course Mahatma Gandhi, eventually brought history to a turning point in 1947, when India became a free country. However, this turning point was arguably the worst outcome the freedom fighters could have wanted, as with India, Pakistan was created under the jurisdiction of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. As history went on, India progressed to become one of the biggest economic and workforce powerhouses of the world, with exceptional military and space industry and relations as well. Pakistan, however, did not even come close to such international greatness. Despite this vast difference in overall progress, the two countries still have extreme levels of hostility towards one another. Rather than just talking about the history of the conflict, I'll actually go into the brains of it today as well. So let's dive right in. India and Pakistan were born out of blood. Simply put, the two countries were divided across the border of modern-day Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan, and Gujarat in 1947 under the command of the British Crown. It was instructed to both the countries that all independent kingdoms across the territory of British India were free to choose which country they wished to be a part of, or to simply not be a part of either. Out of all of them, Kashmir became the most important. With millions crossing the borders during this division, which is now called the Partition of 1947, communal violence erupted, resulting in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. This was the foundation of animosity, with both countries emerging from independence with deep wounds and mistrust. Immediately after independence, Pakistan-backed tribal militias invaded Kashmir, prompting its Maharaja to accede to India. Indian forces intervened, leading to the first war between India and Pakistan. Eventually, the United Nations intervened to establish an LOC, or a line of control, leaving the region divided but contested. Then again, in 1965, Pakistan attacked Kashmir by sending infiltrators to Indian-administrated Kashmir to incite rebellion. This led to full-scale war that ended in a stalemate. Pakistan's east portion, which was all the way across India bordering China, began to see some freedom-fighting movements as well, wherein India supported these movements by intervening militarily. Eventually, Pakistan surrendered, creating Bangladesh. Another major blow to Pakistan came in 1999, when India won the Kargil War. A pattern that you'll notice here is that the Indian forces were repeatedly showing their dominance over Pakistan. In fact, to this day, Pakistan has not won a single military conflict when fighting India by themselves. Because of this, Pakistan had to resort to the backing of terrorist organizations, such as Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, to make a statement across the border with terror attacks, as seen in the 2001 Indian Parliament attack, the attacks of 26/11 in Mumbai, the Uri attack, and the Pulwama attack. The name of the game in this conflict was always Kashmir. Pakistan backed the liberation of Jammu and Kashmir from India, and had a major role to play in the exodus of Kashmiri Pundits from Kashmir in 1990s. See, technically, Kashmir was a part of India. However, Article 370 of the Indian Constitution gave Kashmir a special status, which somewhat gave Kashmir autonomy to make their own constitution, have their own flag, and have low levels of involvement from the Indian Parliament. Even today, Pakistan-backed militants and infiltrators are thought to exist in India, in universities, colleges, support groups, communities, etc. Their aim is to brainwash Indians to create a movement against India altogether. The conflict between India and Pakistan stems largely from deep-seated group identities rooted in religion, culture, and historical trauma. The medial prefrontal cortex helps form the sense of self in relation to a group. while the amygdala reinforces emotional attachment to that group. This leads to strong in-group bias, where people feel loyalty and pride to their own group, which is India or Pakistan, and hostility towards the out-group. The communal violence during partition and the ongoing hostility are underpinned by this neural wiring, which drives individuals to see the other side as fundamentally different or threatening. Events like the partition of 1947 and subsequent wars have left long-lasting neural imprints on collective memory. The amygdala and hippocampus encode traumatic experiences, making fear responses automatic when individuals are reminded of historical adversities. For example, mentions of Kashmir or Pakistan-backed attacks can trigger hyperactivity in the amygdala, leading to aggressive or defensive reactions. This creates a cycle where each side interprets the other's actions as inherently hostile, further entrenching animosity. The reward pathways in the brain, mediated by dopamine, also play a role in the conflict. Nationalistic behaviors, like supporting one's army or waving a national flag, activate the brain's reward system, creating feelings of pride and euphoria. However, these same pathways can drive extreme behaviors when individuals are radicalized. Propaganda and militant ideologies exploit this mechanism, providing a dopamine reward for aligning with a cause, such as opposing the other country. This neurochemical process makes extremism and terrorism psychologically rewarding for some individuals. On top of this comes the modern media. Modern media amplifies conflict by hijacking neural systems responsible for emotional regulation. The amygdala reacts to fear-inducing news or propaganda, while dopamine reinforces consuming content that aligns with one's existing beliefs, aka confirmation bias. This creates echo chambers, where individuals only hear narratives that validate their hostility towards the other side. In the India-Pakistan context, sensationalized coverage of attacks or military escalations perpetuates fear and aggression, reinforcing entrenched divisions. Despite the hostility, the brain's ability to rewire itself, or neuroplasticity, offers hope for reconciliation. Exposure to humanizing stories, cultural exchanges, or dialogue can activate the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for rational thinking and empathy, reducing amygdala-driven fear responses. Programs that foster understanding and collaboration between Indians and Pakistanis could tap into this capacity for change, slowly altering perceptions and reducing the cycle of aggression. This requires sustained efforts to counteract the neurological mechanisms that perpetuate division. Thanks for watching this video. I know it was a lot of material condensed into a single video. I'm thinking of doing a whole series on this topic. Let me know if you'd want to see that. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. See you next time. Peace.